Hey guys, it's me, Gabriel, your friendly neighborhood healer and leader of the Wolfpack, coming to you with that morning boost. Being one with Christ. I think that's a beautiful thing and entirely empowering. Because I think a lot of times we get caught up thinking that we're so very separated from God. We seem like we're all alone in the universe. But it doesn't have to be the case. So buckle up. Here we go. So, when it comes to being one with Christ, something to remember is that we'll establish that in a lot of ways, if you think about it, we are the manifestations of the Holy Spirit, just as Jesus was, in the sense that, if you look at it, Jesus says that what you do to one, you do to me. Of the least you do unto me. He says that in Matthew. He talks about how, in John, he talks about, when he's praying to God during the Last Supper, I think it was either before or it was during that time, he says how, God help them make them as us, and also the works that I do, you'll do greater still. We would say that Jesus is perfect, and yet Jesus says to people, say, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which in heaven is perfect. If Jesus proclaims it, you would think it would have some credence to it. It would have some meat behind it. And I think also the student, he also talks about how the student who, though is not above his master, can train to be like him. And I think this whole note, like, would mean it's you like, if you have two post-it notes, I have another one. If you had two, they're alike. There may be some differences, but I think the difference is only is in form at the time. Like, for instance, I'm white, someone else may be black. The form may be different, but the content behind it is what remains, the important part. And Jesus, he is our leader in the sense that he was the first to complete his part perfectly, and so he is a great leader to have. Not to say that other helpers are not out there who can express the same thought of God, of this truth and oneness that we have with each other. So, how this all then thus applies to your life and how you can go about and apply it in your day. I think that when we recognize this thinking, it empowers us in such a way for us to recognize how much more we really matter. Because if you recognize that I am a co-creator, a co-inheritor with Christ, as Paul puts it. We are co-inheritors. We have inherited this life that is within us, and that nothing that we may seem to even do, even when we feel like we are going against the grain and we have just messed up so much. So many Christians will say, it's never too late, and this, that, and the other. And that's right, because your sin is of no effect, because it is but a dream. This isn't to say you can just go and do whatever the heck you want, but it does establish that those supposed sin, disease, and death and all this stuff does not change the reality of who you are. And that's just in that train of thought. Recognizing that fullness of what you're about, I feel like can really set you to a higher state of understanding as you go about your day. Because it kind of, if you recognize, I am a manifestation of the Holy Spirit, I am one with Christ, then I'd say that is, that's pretty empowering. That's pretty cool, man. And it's going to shape how you decide how you go about things. Because if by the Christ, to see the vision of the Christ, you have to be entirely forgiving, loving, peace offering. Because remember, it all ties back to the golden rule. As you would want them to give unto you, give that then. So if you want them, if you would have forgiveness unto you, then you gotta give forgiveness, man. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's how you gotta look at it. It's more of an experience of that you're praying for, a prayer of the heart, than it is more about these forms. Oh, I want them to do specific X, Y, and Z. I want this to happen and that. Because then we get too caught up and we make it an end and inadvertently an idol. And so to avoid that, to just to rest in the joy of God that will come upon you, praying for the happy things of God, and letting your day unfold with those as the foundation. Stuff's going to happen in your day. There ain't no doubt about that. It's more about what will happen and in the manner that it may, and recognizing the truth of the matter as it may happen. Because sometimes we get caught up, oh gosh, this seems so bad, and we let our mind play games with us. But we don't have to let us do that, because we can recognize our oneness with Christ, and as such, our oneness with each other, and then therein the importance of how we must regard and love our brother. So that's what I got for you today, my friends, this morning. So go forward and recognize that Christ within you, and really let that light shine before men and women and children and all have you. Because to the least of them and to the greatest, what you do to them, you're doing to the Holy Spirit, to Jesus, to the Christ. So let that love within you be there as well. Let that come unto you. So, from here at the Wolfpack, we surely wish you well. And Godspeed. Peace, friends.